Now, if you've not heard of them, Uber and more recently Lyft have revolutionized the taxi business. The way it works is that you have an easy-to-use application on your smartphone in which you enter where you are, where you want to go, where you want to leave, or the time at which you want to arrive at your destination. Once these details are entered, Uber's app will give you a quote for the fare. Now, Uber's computer system monitors all of its drivers by GPS, as well as it knows what fares they are currently dealing with. So it sends that fare request to all of their drivers who could handle that new fare request at the time it's needed. For the end user, that simply means that the car, or in fact you can order a taxi or a limo, an SUV depending on the location, turns up at the right time to get them where they want to go. But it doesn't stop there. Drivers can also book in what times they want to work and at what location they want to start and finish at. And then the system takes care of everything else. Customers are happy, drivers are happy, and the system simply works. The only people who are not happy are all the existing taxi businesses, because in some areas their business has dropped by up to 80% from what it was before the Uber service started. Why is that? Well, the traditional taxi business is typically run from a specific location, and most of the time the driver has to rent the car from the taxi business. That system meant that no one actually took responsibility for the condition of the vehicle, and that had the knock-on effect that they were not always in the best condition. The new Uber Lyft way of working has opened up the taxi business to people who simply have a driving license, a nice car, and who want to earn some extra money. With nicer cars and lower overheads, Uber can offer its customers lower fares while offering the drivers higher earnings. Everybody wins, except the old taxi services they have obliterated, of course. And the side effect of this is that the traditional or professional taxi drivers are moving over to work within the Uber or Lyft system, though they can't bring their old ways of working with them, as both companies have driver rating systems, and the old surly ways, crappy cars and poor attitude will result in low ratings and quite rapid dismissal from the service. What Uber and Lyft have done with the taxi business, JetSuite, Surfair and NetJets have done for plane travel, offering scheduled private travel between many Californian cities. But it's not just travel. The accommodation sector is also undergoing significant disruptions from the likes of Airbnb. Airbnb is a community marketplace where you, as a guest, can book space from someone who has accommodation, called a host. It simply connects people who have space to spare, and that can be anything from a seaside villa to an air mattress in the corner of your living room, with those who are looking for a place to stay. Through their experiences on Airbnb, guests and hosts build a real connection with real people from all over the globe. The way it works is that, again, reservations are made by using a smartphone app. And once a reservation is completed, both the guest and the host can review each other to build a reputation in the community. Even payment is secure, as Airbnb have a secure payment system to ensure that money is fully collected and is safe. Just as taxi drivers, for instance, are moving over to a new system, professional accommodation providers are also moving over to things like Airbnb as well, starting with the smaller establishments like B&Bs and moving on from there. These businesses, and many more like them, have revolutionized the sectors they've gone into, all by working through an app on a smartphone with some clever computing going on in the background. But the main reason they've taken off is because they have improved a process that had become archaic at best, and in the case of some of the taxis, downright unsanitary. But most of all because they were placing that access point, the app, exactly where the customers were. In fact, it was right in the customer's hands. And if you haven't understood that yet, people, your customers, are virtually always on their mobile phones. So that's where we, as business people, need to make sure we're found and found easily.